Welcome back to AFTV, everyone, and welcome to a brand new show, Talking Transfers. I'm joined by an amazing panel, which I'm going to introduce in just a second. We're going to talk transfers. We're going to explore what the ITKs are saying, rating some of those rumours as well, look at the latest reports and trying to figure out what is happening in the world of Arsenal and transfers. We do want to interact with you as well, so get in the comments section below. Let us know your thoughts. We'll take some of the best comments and discuss them on next week's show. But if you'd like this to be a live show as well, do let us know, because that is definitely something we can do going forward for the rest of the summer, because it's going to be a long summer of Arsenal transfer rumours. So as I said, before we go into the amazing panel I've got here, let's just give you a quick update on the latest news and reports in the world of Arsenal and transfers. Apparently Declan Rice, we know that he's had this big final with West Ham. Arsenal won't be making approaches formally until after that final is played. They are playing Fiorentina, and Bayern Munich remain an option for him as well. Brighton will apparently be demanding 70 million or more than 70 million for Moises Caicedo. We know Arsenal had bids of 70 million or around 75 million rejected for him in January. Interesting though, they just let Alexis Mac Allister go to Liverpool for 35 million as well. Gundogan has been offered a contract according to ESPN by Arsenal, but we know that Barcelona and Man City are in the hunt. Are Man City in the hunt? They're just trying to keep him to stay. We will see what happens with Ilkay Gundogan in the future. Ivan Fresneda, a target from January, remains a target till now, but so does this right back, João Cancelo. Man City apparently willing to let him go. Let's see what happens there. We'll discuss him in a little bit more detail in a bit. William Saliba, apparently positive talks regarding his future and his contract. Will that get signed before the end of the summer? Because if it drags on much longer, Arsenal might have some decisions to make. And Reece Nelson on the brink of signing a new deal as well with Arsenal. Let's welcome our amazing panel to discuss all this and more. We have Laurie. Welcome, Laurie. Big round of applause? No, we don't do round of applause on the show.
Robbie was reluctant to give his own blood a round of applause.
Robbie, Mr. Don Robbie in the house. And of course, Cecil, how you doing?
Very well, very well.
How you all feeling going into the summer, Robbie? Transfer dailies nearly upon you?
Yeah, it's going to be a busy summer. Busy summer, I think, for Arsenal this year. We're back in the Champions League. We, challenge for the league this year. So, they're going to be looking at it, the hierarchy, how do we go that one step further? So I expect players to be coming in, I expect players to be leaving as well, and I expect a lot of quality to be coming in, and Arsenal do have a lot of money to spend as well. So it's going to be an exciting transfer window for once. For Arsenal, I do feel.
I agree. Laurie, there was some discussion on Forever Arsenal about what a minimum spend would be good for Arsenal. What's a minimum spend for you to be happy with that tells you the Kroenkes are genuinely committed going forward?
$1 billion.
You've got that Saudi money going.
No, to echo what Robbie was saying, this summer's crucial. The owner's going to have to get their checkbooks out. I know that sounds a bit dated, that phrase, but you know what I mean. Going to have to put their hand in their pocket and come up with some big amounts of dosh, because there are players out there that we need. We went close last year, but if we're going to get over the line in terms of winning things next season, we do need to strengthen the squad. And as Robbie said, there are players that do need to leave as well. So yeah, it's crucial.
How much, Don?
Like I said, $1 billion, man.
No, minimum.
Be serious, man. How much do you think we have to spend?
Minimum.
Oh, gosh. It's difficult because, okay, so people say Caicedo. I say Caicedo and Rice.
So
people say, we need a right back. I say we need a striker too. So the whole spine of the side needs to be strengthened.
That's
it's difficult to put a price on that,
talking
though, isn't
200 million.
Yeah, minimum, yeah.
What do you say?
200.
I would go further than that.
200 million minimum has to be. 150 million spent last summer. That was the most spent. I think 200 million is a fair minimum, because we're going Champions League next season. Yeah, I think 200 million minimum is fair.
Yeah, it depends on how serious these owners are.
They should be, and I believe they will be. And Edu. Yes.
What are you going to get the camera for? You messaged him on Instagram.
Yeah, I know, but he knows.
Let's talk about João Cancelo. I think this is a really interesting one, though. I don't actually think we've fully explored on AFTV yet. Now, let me just give you some news. Dharmesh Seth at Sky Sports has said that Arsenal have held early verbal talks with Man City over Cancelo. They are interested in signing him. Sources indicate that there is currently a gap, though, between what Arsenal are prepared to pay and what Man City want. Where have we heard that before? Arsenal are looking to be very ambitious this summer. Those are the words of Dharmesh Seth. There were lots of rumours around João Cancelo and why he left Manchester City, of course. Rumours of a falling out. But very interestingly, and this is something we're going to be doing on this show, we're going to bring you the facts. We're going to bring you everything, all the context around, because things can just fly around on the internet. Then it sort of just becomes fact and becomes truth. We want to sort of put to bed some of those things. Cancelo, despite rumours of a bit of a busting up, this is what he said when he left. Actually, let me start again. This is what Pep Guardiola said about Guardiola leaving. He says, first, I wish him the very best for these next 4 months. The next season, I don't know what happens, but his personality, like mine, he loves to play. He trains the best, but the situation, he isn't playing that much. He needs to play to be happy. That's a key sentence. So we decided to let him go to Bayern Munich. Cancelo on the departure as well, and rumours of a bust-up said, as I already said, he found a way that he wanted to play after the World Cup, starting with a fullback more inside, where I also played. So he's talking about that position, and Ake and Rico Lewis being in there. A competitive player like me who aspires to win titles, just wants to play. It's not a question of devaluing my teammates, but I thought I deserved to play, and I didn't. Interestingly, Bayern Munich did have the option to sign him for 61.5 million after the loan move, but they've decided not to take that up. So that leaves Arsenal in the hunt. Laurie, what do you make of it?
First up, with the thing with Pep, I think it's more than just a rumour. It's obvious that they fell out, and the reason why they fell out is, as you stated, Cancelo wants to play football. He's not going to do the old Calvin Phillips role and be smiling and happy to stay on the bench. He wants to play. And he's a quality player, there's no doubt about that. The only thing I'm thinking is might want to explore our options a little bit further before we jump at Cancelo, to be honest. Not that he's not a good player, obviously Premier League tested and ready, but the age, there might be something out there that might suit Arsenal better. So I would certainly look at him, but I would be looking at also players in that.
Fair enough. Well, I'll open it to you three. You know, how are you all feeling about it? Because
I like Cancelo.
It's Guardiola and Cancelo being those quotes are quite like no, like we didn't fall out. I just wanted to play. He's respected that. But the rumour, the underlying feeling around this kind of link is, oh, do we want someone that fell out with Pep Guardiola? Do we want someone he doesn't want? All that.
Yeah, no, we've cleared that up. We've cleared that up just there, and I read on that as well. It seems like it's very mutual between those both. I think I respect Cancelo. He wants to play, so that's what a player should do. He wants to go and seek game time. I think it's left on a very respectful ending. I'm fair play to him, and I would like Cancelo. I think he's a great addition. The only thing that worries me is if we get rid of Tierney. I think you need to have a different option. We can't have Zinchenko and Cancelo. I think that's crazy. I think if you have two inside fullbacks or free roam fullbacks, shall we say, then it leaves you exposed. I think you have to have one play when one doesn't. So, but if we bring him, I think he's got experience. I know Laurie spoke about his age, but I think that's experience in that position that would only benefit Arsenal. If you're going to go for a young fullback, I'm going to go look at our academy. But not on Coffee, but we'll get into that later on.
Yeah, probably.
He's a quality player, and he can play on the right or the left. So that makes him very versatile. Could have done with a player like that towards the end of the season, innit, where we were struggling in some of those positions. I'm not sure though, man. The fee for me is a lot. I know he's a top quality player, but he's getting a little bit older now, and I can see why Bayern said, nah, that's too much. You know what I mean? When there's sort of younger options around, you know what I mean? And I think if the fee was, if we were talking about 40 million, I'd be like, yeah, Arsenal should go and get him, but 60, I think it's too hefty.
Yeah?
Yeah, I agree with that. I referenced it earlier. Rather than pay that amount for a 30-year-old, there might be
I think he's 28, 29, isn't he?
I thought
I think he is more
30.
28. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay,
I might be wrong.
But still, that's like...
It's a lot of money.
That's still a lot of money for 60 million for a player of that age in that position, right back. We're not talking about a striker here.
Maybe we might be a bit more innovative, the likes of what Brighton do. They go out and they find these gems from far-flung places, and it always seems to work for them. So
I'm done with that. I think we've done enough of that. I'm sorry, I'm done with that.
No, but Brighton have shown that they make it work.
We've done enough for the young scout. I'm sorry. I'm here now, Champions League football. We need winners, we need experience.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the inflation of the market now, 60 million is a lot of money. I'll give you that. Zinchenko was half that, it's 30 million. But that is the market nowadays.
But we were speaking earlier,
Champions
all
League.
three of us were saying you're talking 200 million, quarter of a billion maybe. So if you can save in certain areas.
Your money that?
You're right, it's not my money. But I'm talking from the club's perspective.
It's about quality though.
It might be
He's quality. You're going on like he's not quality.
But I just think, you know, that price is hefty for me.
I think so too.
Because you do have to think, I mean, it's all right for you to say that, but you got to think about these things. You know what I mean? Probably we'll be spending upwards towards maybe 200 million, maybe. 200 million would be a lot of money to spend now. Right? Do you want to blow 60 million of that on Cancelo? I think it's too much.
Do you think like me that, I mean, a lot of people don't seem to be saying this, but I think we need a striker. I think we need another striking option, man. And you know striking options are potentially as expensive, or if not more expensive than every other area on the pitch.
I just think that
I think we need a
I think
striker.
Arsenal will be smart with this. If they do bring in someone like Caicedo, they'll push Ben White back into centre back. That's covered them for Saliba, which we've been screaming for and we needed. That right back can be very strong with Cancelo, Tomiyasu once he comes back from full fitness. I think it's more than just a right back. We're adding in other areas for getting him as well. He can play left side and right. I think Cancelo is a smart sign. Apart from it is a lot of money, but.
Do you think we need a right back more than we need a striker then?
I want a striker, but I'm saying if we
No,
get the
I
right back.
asked you a question specific.
Oh, you're doing the Robbie now.
specific
All right,
question.
cool. Go on. So you say it's more than a striker.
I would say we need a striker more than a right back.
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Because I just think that at times we are quite one-dimensional going forward, and
Scored a lot of goals. I think we're one of the biggest, one of the teams that scored the most goals in the Premier League. So
yeah, but we
that
rely
doesn't-
on getting goals from
Right.
midfield as well. But I do think that
So should we-
It's the most
goals,
goals
though,
we've
innit?
ever scored in a league season this season.
Yeah. So
More than
that
the
suggests that,
Invincibles.
whereas we were conceding stupid goals towards the end, suggests defence more important.
But does he sort that defence?
No, I don't think he does. Not for that price.
I think you should move Ben White in centre back.
Yeah.
That's another option. But yeah.
Is there anything about constantly signing Man City players?
I think there is something to be
As
said
long as
for
they're
that.
quality, who cares?
Who cares?
Personally, as long as they're top quality, I know people will look on it, but the ones that we bought in have been top quality and have transformed our team.
It helped us, yeah.
So we're not wanting to stick our noses up. Bring them on.
Why do you
We
think
have
it
De
was?
Bruyne.
I'll take Harry Kane from Tottenham. I don't care if whoever comes from City, bro. I'm tired of that. As long as it benefits the squad.
Fair enough. Okay, let's move on to the next part of our show where we're going to just take a break from talking about some of these really heavy reports. There's lots of other rumours out there. There's lots of other things that are discussed on the internet. I'm sure a lot of you will see them on Twitter and all that. This is the ITK Rumour Rater. I'm going to put 5 rumours out to Cecil, Robbie and Laurie. And they're going to, Britain's Got Talent style, hit the buzzer if they don't like what they're hearing or if they don't simply think that that player is likely to get a move to Arsenal. So let's begin. Here's the rumour that İlkay Gündoğan, who we mentioned earlier in the show, has been offered a contract by Arsenal on less money than he's been offered by Barcelona and clubs in Saudi Arabia. Does he make it to Arsenal?
No.
It's a no from Robbie.
No, he's going to go. To me, I can see him heading to Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can see him heading to Saudi Arabia, making a mega bucks. You know, like what Benzema's doing, like what N'Golo Kante's doing, and many other players. The money's been drawn out there. And, you know, when you think about it, I think especially if City were to win the Champions League, he's then done it all, and he's won the Champions League, he's won the treble, he's won everything, right? So now let me just go in the last, you know, he's 32. So let me, for the last 3 years now, just go over and kill it.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to admit it, you are talking sense, man.
Yeah, same. I'll be honest, I would
Press the
agree with that
buzzer.
as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, hit the buzzer, yeah?
I'm just going to
You all
All
agree. No one thinks Gundogan will arrive at Arsenal.
Sadly, though,
this summer.
he'd be great. at Arsenal.
Fair enough. Arsenal are trying to sign Fenerbahce's young attacking midfielder Arda Güler, left-footed player. Kind of, I mean, from the brief clips I've seen, looks a little similar to Fabio Vieira. Odegaard, I think, can play out wide, though. Looks an exciting prospect. Is that someone we need and are likely to sign? Wow. 2 no's. And
3
Robbie
no's.
agrees. 3 no's. Laurie, give us your thinking on
I'm
this
going to say no for the same reasons that Cecil expressed earlier, which is that we need to be looking at players that tried, tested, battle ready, and ready to come in and do a job rather than looking always at potential. We've had a few players of this kind of ilk before, nothing personal against the kid. Sure, he's a very good player, but you reference Fabio Vieira and people like that. I can't help but think about Fabio Vieira when I look at that guy there. So no, not for me.
Even Charlie Patino, he's in our academy. I know he's looking like he's going to move on, but same sort of age, same sort of profile. I just think it's not a disrespect to him, but listen, I'm tired. I don't want to see any of this come this window.
But you can't say you don't want to see any of this. I mean, because, you know, some of the best players we brought in recent times have been players that, you know, you didn't really want in, or you didn't, you know what I mean? Or you hadn't heard of, like Martinelli.
They haven't raised the standard. Fabio Vieira, Tavares,
Martinelli.
Lokonga. Yeah, okay, you can name some. I can name some back to you though. Lokonga, Fabio Vieira, Tavares.
But where I would agree with
Cecil
Cecil is that we're at a different stage now.
But what I would say with him, right, is he is a player that we've looked at before. This is the only reason why I'm saying I don't think we'll sign him. I think he's a player that's admired at Arsenal. They like him. He's a top prospect coming out of Turkish football. He's a very, very good player. I just feel that maybe because of some of the players we already have in that position, they may pass on him. I've seen Newcastle are interested in him as well. But I think if you're a club like Arsenal, you've got to keep looking at these type of players, right? Because they can be the next big thing. And you don't want them going somewhere and then next minute when you want to buy them, they're like 60, 70 millions. And the thing is, what you're saying there is why I disagree, right? Is that on the one hand, I'll hear you say that, but then on the other hand, you'll then be praising Brighton and saying, oh, that's fantastic. What, how did they get
You're looking the wrong way. You're looking the wrong way.
How is it? Hold on.
To your brother.
How is it? Hold on. How is it they're able to get Caicedo? Well, that's how they're able to do it. Like, by looking at these players that they're saying, this guy, his ceiling could be so high, and at the moment,
we've got that wrong.
We could get him for this type of price. Maybe you bring a player like that in, loan him out somewhere if he's not quite ready. So I certainly want Arsenal to be looking at these type of players.
Yeah, you have to look at those types of players. The reason why I would agree with Cecil is that yes, you're looking at potential versus established players, but where we're at now, I think you need to look first and foremost at established players.
Not just though, Laurie.
Not just. No, I think the balance has got to be right.
Let me give you.
It's got to be right, but it's got to be more on established.
He's 18 years old.
I know he's 18, but let me give you an example of a player, right? That a lot of people I remember at the time would just say he's all right, and it's turned out to be our best player this season. That's Martin Odegaard. Yeah, when we bought him in from Madrid. No, it's not quite different because, all right, he may not have been 18, but he's a young player, and a lot of people's like, I remember when we were going to sign him permanently after the loan, there's people like, yeah, he's all right, but why don't we go and get Maddison, or why don't we go and get this, right? And right in front of us is this top player, right, who's now been our best, got player of the year, scored more goals than any midfield. So we just can't discount it. We can't just look on.
You can. It came out.
You've got to go out there and get Cancelo or these big names that are already established.
Fair enough.
That's a valid point, but like I said, we need some established players there.
Okay. What about final midfielder Orkun Kokcu? We've been linked with him before. Apparently he's back on the list of targets for Arsenal. Wouldn't be overly surprising. They've been linked with James Maddison, Mason Mount as well. So some attacking midfielders in a somewhat similar mould. He's been linked with Arsenal for many, many years as well. Robbie will know from Transfer Daily. So let me know, guys. Orkun Kokcu to Arsenal this summer?
Don't see it. I don't see it. Again, just for the mere fact that there's quite a lot of players playing in that position.
Yeah.
I don't see us going back in for him. And like you said with the Fabio Vieira, I think Fabio Vieira is a very important season for him. He's going to have to shine. And I think they're looking at him and thinking, right, Fabio. And we've already heard them talking that, Emile Smith Rowe. Get yourself back to the peak fitness and you're going to be our guy. So I don't think, again, when we're talking about the funds that might be available this summer, just personally, I don't think we'll go and invest that in this player.
Okay, just yes or no, do you agree?
Probably, no, sorry, I'll press that as well. Okay. It's a tough one because, listen, Feyenoord did very well this. They won their league this year, and then he's then a winner. Would bring something to this side. I think he's 22 years old. He scored 8 goals. He's got 3 assists. He provides something. But for me, it's the fan in me. I don't want to see this signing. That's probably what's holding me back to be
Hollywood.
There we go. Fair enough. Laurie, no.
Echo the thoughts of the two guys there. And plus, like I said, I think we should be looking further afield. No disrespect to him. I'm sure he's a very good player, but I think we've got our targets. We need to aim for those first and foremost.
Okay, how about this? We've got Arthur Okonkwo there. We know that he was the third goalkeeper over a year ago. Last season he went on loan and Carl Hein was. Apparently Arsenal are looking to sign an experienced third choice goalkeeper with Champions League football and everything. So do you three see it? No.
No, and again, I'm going to my fan side. I want Okonkwo to stay and be that third choice. I don't think they're going to be looking. They've got Matt Turner, USA international, and I think he's progressed massively, Matt Turner. In the little time we saw him in this season, I think he's done a lot. He worked on his ball distribution, stepped in when Ramsdale wasn't available, done all right in my opinion. I think Matt Turner's a good number 2. If you want a third choice, I think you go to your academy. I think it's a bit. I keep going to disrespectful, and I know I do the nicety things, but getting a third choice keeper when you've got someone in your academy who's actually had a really good season on loan as well, I think it's a bit disrespectful. I think give Okonkwo the chance as a third choice.
Yeah.
Agreed with much of that, and I'll also go along with Cecil about Matt Turner. I thought Matt Turner looked pretty good in the Europa League, and I think he's somebody that got a future at Arsenal, and I don't think we should be too bothered about third choice keepers.
Okay.
I think that could actually happen. I'm not going to press the buzzer. I think that could actually happen. I think Arsenal do need a third choice experienced keeper. Okonkwo, when I watched him play, was very inexperienced. So for me, you keep him out on loan, let him learn his trade. He's still a very, very young guy. But what Arsenal would lack is an experienced guy.
When is the third choice going to play, Robbie? When is he going to play? Because let's be real. We're going to want to see Ramsey at most of the games. We're in Champions League this season, Premier League, FA Cup.
Is it not the Scott Carson role?
That's look at Scott Carson at Manchester City, like James says. I don't think he's even played for him. No. But they know that they've got.
Give him the odd minute.
Yeah, they know that if anything was to happen to their two keepers, which something can, you never know. They've got an experienced guy who could just come in there, hit the ground running, been there, done that, round the block. Now, so I don't. You see, Man United, was it Buckland they had, even though he barely played. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A lot of clubs do it, and I think it's a good idea to bring in, like, just an experienced guy that will just come in and just
sit on the bench.
And you've also got to remember that Runnelson's gone, so we need 3 keepers. We've only got really 2. But yeah, you could say Hein, but I think an experienced. Okay. I can see that happening, yeah.
Yeah, I could too, to be honest. And Declan Rice, apparently, according to one report, is leaning towards a move to Bayern Munich and is expected to be their most expensive signing ever. You don't think that's true?
No, I don't. I think that Declan Rice would certainly welcome a move to Arsenal. We've spent all the latter part of the season hearing rumours to that effect, so I'd be extremely surprised. I mean, listen, a club like Bayern Munich coming for you, of course you should. It would be remiss of you not to consider it, but I can't see him going to Bayern over Arsenal.
I agree. I think Declan Rice is coming to Arsenal. I think, this one's been, I've been hearing this rumour since before the transfer window. And I remember even at the time asking like the person who gave me the information, I'm like, we were then in January, we were after Caicedo. I said, yeah, but if we get Caicedo, he said, nah, Robbie, well, I've been told they want Declan Rice. Is their number 1 target. They'll still go for him in the summer. I think it would be a great move for Declan Rice. He doesn't have big upheavals. I don't see him going to Manchester United because they've got like Casemiro and that. I don't see him going to Chelsea. And I don't see him going to Bayern either. I think Declan Rice, he's an England international. If you're playing in the Premier League for a high-profile club like Arsenal, and you're doing well, you keep your England place. And I think for a player like Declan Rice, that's important to him as well. And also I feel that if he goes to Arsenal, West Ham fans won't be on his case. They won't. He'll get the blessing to go to somewhere like Arsenal. They'll be like, you've done your best for us, as he would if he goes to Bayern. But I just think I'd be very surprised if Declan Rice doesn't come to Arsenal. Let's put it that way.
For me, he ticks all the boxes. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I could see in a few years he'd possibly be an Arsenal captain. Just seems to tick all the boxes. He's got all the right attributes. It's a mutually beneficial move because I can actually see Arsenal wanting to build their future team around the likes of Declan Rice and Caicedo and people like that. So yeah, I'm with Robbie on that.
Cool. And you agree, Sess?
Yeah, I'll keep it brief because we're going to keep Declan Rice. The only thing that holds me back is all the big targets that Arsenal go for. It just recently feels like we just don't get them over the line, but he seems like the perfect choice for Arsenal. And I've seen him on the pitch speak with Martin Odegaard after the game and Saka. He has a good relationship with them. And I've heard from everyone and their dog that Declan Rice is going to be an Arsenal player this summer. Everyone's talking about it, but that does have that slight fear that it might not happen because of that. But
I'd go as far as to say if we don't get him, I'd be mildly depressed because, like Cecil says, it would be another big target we've gone all out for and didn't get. I'd start losing my will to live.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's the ITK rumour-rater. They don't really rate any of those rumours, so fair enough. We'll, of course, do this weekly and see what else is being said across the internet, not just reports in the papers. We'll keep you up to date with everything that's being rumoured, gossiped about, discussed on Arsenal and transfers. Next up, Moises Caicedo apparently chooses Arsenal. Let me break down what that's all about. Terra Deportes, who are apparently a sports website in Ecuador, tweeted that Arsenal had agreed terms with Arsenal, that they had a choice to make. This is about 3-4 days ago, and only yesterday tweeted that a decision had been made. He wants to play in the Champions League with Arsenal. Now, I did go look at their website. I couldn't find a report there. It looks like that the sort of original source is coming through their tweets. Fair enough, but I couldn't find a report or anyone attaching their name to the report on that. Sam Dean in the Telegraph has said that Brighton are demanding more than 70 million for Moises Caicedo, with Chelsea, Man United and Liverpool all keeping an eye. And there's a few other things that might play a part in the deal as well. Jude Bellingham is just about to join Real Madrid for 88.5 million. This is one of the most hotly chased, targeted, talked about young players in world football, and he's going for around 88.5 million. Will that do Arsenal favours in their bids for young midfielders Moises Caicedo and Declan Rice? But also this deal here, Ugarte, plays for Sporting, was on his way to Chelsea reportedly. Even rumours that Todd Bowley was about to buy the club. And let's not get started on that. But he is off to PSG. That leaves Chelsea, who are already in the hunt for Caicedo anyway, perhaps wanting to make amends and really do everything they can to get Caicedo over the line. So Caicedo to Arsenal.
Caicedo chose Arsenal back in January, did he not? It's just Brighton that said, no, we're not going to sell him. He wanted to be there. He spoke about, I want this money, I want to go there. So
his family.
His family, exactly that. So I'm sure he chose him back in January, and Caicedo I think would be a great fit as well. And I'm being greedy, I want both, I want Rice and Caicedo. But the thing that I do question, and I love this show and what you just brought up there about Jude Bellingham going for that price, well done James, because I heard obviously Arsenal trying to build an offer for Declan Rice around 90 million, 80, 90 million. I don't see Caicedo coming in for more than what we pay for Declan Rice. I think that doesn't happen. I might be wrong, but I don't see that happening. I don't think Arsenal would think, no, we're paying this much for Declan Rice. Why can we not get Caicedo for, even though he has signed a new contract, why would we not get him for less money? That's the only thing I kind of question. But listen, I'd love to see him. I think he'd fit in perfectly, a very versatile player.
Well, he would be perfect, absolutely perfect for Arsenal. I'm not sure if we're going to get both him, Declan Rice and Caicedo. I'd love to see it happen. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. They are going to want about 70 million because there's a lot of demand for him. There's a lot of demand for him. Liverpool are interested. United, literally loads of clubs interested in. Chelsea as well now that N'Golo Kante's leaving as well. They love him, right? I feel we do have an advantage in that we were going to get him in January. The big thing for us is that two things, as I said, we challenged for the league last year, so our profile with these players has really, really gone up. It's an exciting place to come to Arsenal. And also, we've got the Champions League football, which a player like this, even the manager De Zerbi said he deserves to play in the Champions League. But are Arsenal going to get both? That's the thing. James, we were discussing this the other day, and your theory, I'm like, if they have that in mind, then they may get both, which is then he could drop into that right back position sometimes.
He played it right back when we played.
And he could be that inverted sort of player that comes into the middle of the park, which then allows Declan Rice to go further forward, sort of almost into the Xhaka role. But listen, I think if we sign both Declan Rice and Caicedo, that will be even if it was just them two, for me it will be an unbelievable transfer window. I'm just worried that can we get both? I mean,
well, Laurie, it's been a long time.
It would take a lot to get both.
It would. It's been a long time since Arsenal have actually even been in these bidding wars and battles with teams, and we know that Arsenal prefer to stay out of those. But even look over the years, Lucas Torreira, we were batting with Napoli, for example, with all due respect to Torreira and Napoli. But it's been a long time since we've been head-to-head with Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool for targets, because we're actually, able to compete financially, but be in a position where these players are genuinely going, actually, I want the Champions League club that challenged for the title last year, and that is Arsenal.
Exactly, and if you look at the trajectory of the club, it's on definite up. Not just the fact we're playing in Champions League. A lot of people view Arsenal as that next big thing. Young players play exciting brand of football, the manager, and everything else that goes with being Arsenal at the moment. So, like Robbie says, if we can get the both of them, that would be tremendous. And that kind of speaks to what we were saying before about, okay, we need to spend a lot of money, but I'm sure I would like to see the club prioritise. If we can get Caicedo and Rice and Caicedo, we, maybe slip on some of the other targets.
No, that would be interesting. And it's also hard to know how many alternatives out there. Lavia was one that was mentioned. I'll ask you three though, if you had to pick one, let's say Arsenal do a madness in other ways. Maybe they get a striker, maybe they sign a right back and a centre back, but we're adding one midfielder, maybe another midfielder, but it's not both Rice and Caicedo. Who would you want out of the two of them?
Well, if it's a straight
Rice for me. Rice, the leadership quality is just. I've seen much more of Rice. I just think his all-round game is probably slightly ahead of Caicedo. I like Caicedo, but I think Rice is a really top player.
I say Caicedo, but funny enough, I think if we go into a bidding war, we concede against Caicedo, we get Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is, I think that's freely a guarantee. I think if we go into a bidding war, I think we pull out and we don't get Caicedo. But I want Caicedo more. I've been a big fan of Kante. I wanted him at Arsenal for so long. We didn't get him, and he reminds me of that just even better. So that workhorse, and I think under Mikel Arteta, he just listens to instructions and gets it done. I like Caicedo. I think what you said there, Robbie, though, Declan Rice, as a whole, might have better pass distribution and everything. But
yeah, I think overall, I think Declan Rice is a better player. I think his passing, like you said, I think the way he picks up the ball and drives through midfield, brilliant. He scores goals more than Caicedo.
But Caicedo more versatile for you, Robbie, no? Because he can play right back.
I think Declan Rice can play centre back as well. He's a very versatile player. You know what I mean? I was at the World Cup watching him. He's such a good player. To me, it's not a no-brainer because Caicedo's a top player, but I edge Rice. But if we could get both, happy days.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I'm with Robbie. It's strange I'm agreeing with him on so many things. It's a bit uncomfortable, but he is making a lot of sense when he says that if you had to opt for one over the other, even though they're both great and we want both players, I think Declan Rice edges it. Robbie referenced the leadership skills, which is something that we've always wanted to see in the past, people with leadership skills at the club. The goal-scoring attributes that Declan Rice has acquired, I would have to opt for Declan Rice, but I want both.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see if Arsenal do it. Let's see if Caicedo really has chosen Arsenal. We will see. We know that the Mudryk thing back in January had that bidding war with Chelsea. Let's see if this one ends a little bit differently, but there might be more clubs in it as well. We really hope you've enjoyed talking transfers. We will be here weekly, and as I said, you want this to be a live show. We can get your live comments in, get your reactions to everything we're talking about. You can even rate as well. We'll get polls going for those ITK raters. We can make it all happen. So let us know in the comment section what you, the fans, want this show to be, and we will make it happen as well. Let us know in the comment section, Rice or Caicedo. If you want to say both, that's fine. All right, we'll see you very soon.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.